Aloha and welcome back to Hi Now Daily. The classroom can shape a lifetime of leadership, and today we're celebrating 20 years of Teach For America Hawaiʻi and the impact it's had on public education. I'm joined by Trever, Asam, and Jim Scott. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys.
Thank you.
All right, well, I know you guys know each other for way back when. Talk to me a little bit about how.
You know, I was graduating from college, and I had gone to Punahou, and right after I graduated, Jim had taken over as the president at Punahou. I was graduating from college, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was thinking about teaching, and I had a couple of opportunities, one of which was to go back to Punahou and teach there. The other was to try this new program that had opened up a couple years previously. It was Teach For America, and that would have given me the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. and be a public school teacher there in the D.C. public school system. To my surprise, it was sort of an interview with Jim, and he told me not to come work for him, and instead to try out Teach For America, do something different, maybe get a different perspective.
That's incredible. So you were applying for a job with him. He's like, actually, go try this.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah? And why did you, kind of navigate him toward that direction?
Actually, he had just graduated from college. I said, stay on the continent. Become our window when you come back. There'll always be a place for you in Hawaii, but also at Punahou. But I also had known Teach For America in its infant stages. It's about 5 to 10 years old by then. And had some former students here and there. And I said, teach. You have a chance to be in a classroom that touches the future every day.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to launch a career, to be able to start with TFA.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So wise words from him, and then over to you. You ended up going and get that experience with Teach For America. What has it taught you, and how has it shaped who you are as a person, whether that's personally or professionally?
So 3 years out of college at that, or sorry, 3 months out of college at that point, and I walk into the classroom, 7th and 8th graders teaching social studies in the DC public schools, and I had 150 students. They were my responsibility. I had the exact same sort of duties and responsibility placed on me as the teacher next door who'd been doing it for 40 years. So it was a time of tremendous growth, development, leadership, all of these really important qualities. I didn't stay in the classroom forever. I ended up becoming a lawyer, and I'm in private practice now, but I think that because of that experience, I really became an advocate for public education and understood what it means and how important it is for the community.
Wow, incredible. And Jim, moving back to you, he talks about being an advocate for public education. Although you were the former president of Punahou School, a private school, you have always been so involved with public education. What is the importance and why?
Well, the reason I joined the TFA board after I retired was as a lifelong educator and a teacher. I just love the mission that every child should have access, be able to attain a great education. And so I believe that as a private educator for our public schools. 80% of our students go to public school. All of us should be supporting public schools. And so I joined the board because the mission. I joined the board because my former students were actually followed my direction and said, you should take your education and make another life better, and improve someone else's life.
Pay it forward.
Yeah,
right
pay it
there.
forward.
Yeah, and 80%, that is the community right there.
That is.
That is 80% public school, yeah?
Yep.
All right, and then I got to ask, he gave us, his input on why he joined the board. How about for you?
I've been working on the continent for a while, and when I moved home to Hawaii, I spoke with Jill Baltimore, who was the executive director at the time, and asked what I could do. Teach For America had been so important to my development, so foundational for my career even. I wanted to help out, and joining the board was an easy way to do that.
That's cool. I love that. What can I do? So you did eventually come back to Hawaii, your home, and you asked, what can I do, right? And there you did. You did it. There you are. And there's people who are interested, I'm sure, with Teach For America. If they had, need any resources or they need to visit the website, all the information is there, right?
Sure, teachforamerica.org.
Okay, perfect. And then I know we talked about celebrating 20 years. What are your hopes for the next 20?
We need to retain and attract great teachers and help them lead. We have to use TFA to help other schools to innovate. And I think the power of the network of current TFA teachers, but also former ones like himself. I mean, he's the example. 25, 30 years ago, you were a teacher. He's now been voted the chairman of the board at TFA Hawaiʻi. Go full circle.
Full circle. Amazing.
Yeah. You know, I think Teach For America has been here in Hawaii for 20 years. And I look not only at all of the teachers we've brought into the classrooms, the students that they've impacted, but also all of those teachers who, you know, then went on to do other things and retained that experience and had that perspective. With another 20 years, you know, not only will those who are just in the classroom now have 20 more years to develop, we'll be bringing in even more students and more teachers.
Yeah. Awesome, you too. Well, thank you so much for your guidance, your leadership that went on to this guy who came back to Hawaii and now is teaching right here in Hawaii. And now you are actually serving in a different capacity, but you have gained so much information and knowledge throughout the years. So Teach For America is where it's at. If you want to learn more about them, get all the information and resources, just head over to their website, teachforamerica.org/Hawaii. We're going to take a break and we're going to come right on back here. Hi Now Daily. I think I'm dancing next, you guys. You going to stay for the dancing?
Yeah, we're going to watch it.
Yes.
Yeah.